It is not true that the handshake and the broad-based gentleman agreement between William Ruto and Raila Odinga mirrors the 2017 ninth handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. It is not true. And I have been seeing a couple of analysts trying to draw parallels. And let me tell you why there's a difference. It is not true because when Raila Odinga was having the handshake with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, they spoke about long-standing historical ties between the two tribes of Luo and Kikuyu. And they said that what our forefathers did not achieve is what we must do now. A peaceful, united country, Kenya. And I keep on saying in this podcast that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta handed over a peaceful, united country to William Ruto. I'm not afraid of repeating. The gap between Ruto and Raila was bound to be 200,000 votes. If that was Raila of 2017 and the gap is 200,000 votes, do you want to tell me it would have been easy? That transition would not have been easy. Now, that is not why I'm doing this analysis. I'm just trying to jog your mind a bit. What I want to show you is the recent trend why the broad-based agreement is not getting the global approval. And despite of high-profile delegation from Kenya to sell the broad-based agenda to strategic friends of country Kenya, why that agenda has failed. Watch to the end. But remember, we are still in Kilifi. Today is Monday. We are supporting these 15 women. They are elderly. The situation is very dire. It is in the best in Magarini. They were being supported by one of our subscribers here, was a former military officer, but that military officer also fell ill and has been bedridden for some time. So he's been on my back to support, and that's why we decided now to come to the aid. Our interventions at that age, there are some that we're supposed just to put up the structures, make them complete their structures, put doors in their houses, and also make the structure be in a good state. And others, we are going to buy the mattress, and then all of them will do food distribution. So we shall buy some food stuff so that we distribute them on Thursday. So that's why we are all here for a whole week. Day one today, we started the building, so that will be today, Monday and Tuesday. Then we'll retreat on Wednesday, we'll do the last fundraiser. On Thursday, we shall just rush, procure some food stuff, and then go and distribute. So I'm here for I'm here for a whole week, and that's what I'm doing here. You may be wondering, why is he shooting nowadays? Now that is why I'm shooting on this end, and I'm just reaching out to you. Contribute as what you can get. Maybe so long as he to achieve, I'll be so grateful. I know it's dragging because the target is around 150. I'm still way below that target because what I had collected, I've also spent. Probably, I think now I have a deficit. So far, I think I have a deficit of around 100,000 probably. Yeah, I think 95,000. I will be able to bring everything tight, so to be able to achieve. So kindly, let's just push through as we try to impact on their life. Charity is something, it gives satisfaction beyond measure. Na hakuna pesa kidogo. Hiyo tukijaza hiyo 50-50, sasa unasema Kevin 50-50 itajaa. Imagine tukitoa tu najua itatosha na Mungu atatubariki. Now, back to what I was discussing with you. Following the footsteps of Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto decided to have a handshake with Raila Odinga. And I agree that there is something similar between the two handshakes. That in both instances, Raila Odinga is not getting a job in government, but is getting a job in AU, is seeking some job in AU. But you realize at the ease in which Raila Odinga got the AU infrastructure envoy under Uhuru Kenyatta, on this one now he's going for a higher post and is going to face the 54 countries in Africa as he vies for the African Union chairperson position. Now, What birthed the current handshake was a Gen Z-led protest. Now, what birthed the handshake between Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta was actually the two fan bases, the two political fan base of both then the NASA, or rather the NASA, not NASA, yeah, that was NASA and Jubilee were facing each other. But on this one, there was something very different. This was not a tribal clash. This was a youth-led movement. And they said tribeless, they said formless, they said they didn't have any shape, or they didn't have any inclination, including partyless. So we came here over a matter, issues that were raised by the young people. The protest, however, exposed the magnitude of the rage the masses have against Ruto policies and even other officials. And that is why the young people in the country, they were raising questions and reminding the president that so and so are putting very expensive watches, while us, the young people of this country, we cannot make, and they're just vomiting on us. Now, it is then coming that the youth, there is this report that has been released. This is by Sunday Nation report. Look at this article is saying, Kenyan youth not interested in political parties. And what is indeed this article is saying, 981 out of 1,535 young people surveyed are not affiliated with any political party. They believe parties mainly serve the interest of a few individuals seeking political seats. Now, I wanted to start this, I wanted to bring up this because the president is talking about the young people went to the street, and when they came back, they found a party agreement between ODM and UDA served as, served as the solution to quell the masses. But that was never in it, and that is why this article is very critical that 981 out of 1,535 young people are not interested in political parties. So we have the broad-based, but some few observations are key here. 2 months and even a month after that broad-based government was formed, William Ruto is yet to leave the country to Europe. The place he went recently was attending the inauguration in Rwanda and did not even spend in Rwanda. He had to come back like the same day. So Ruto have not been going to Europe unlike in the past, and also consequently the Western envoys that used to troop in State House to meet the president, even that number reduced. I think nowadays if you check the Facebook page, the president is meeting village elders here and there, some party leaders, cabinet, and then going to rallies. So those State House meetings, where we hear a prime minister from which country, I don't know another one from, even those foreign nations that used to troop in the country here for bilateral deals, even that those foreign envoys have actually not been coming. And recently, that was the first now, but recently, the US asked the president, Kenya Kwanza, to at least jail the police officers who violated the rights of Kenyans during the protest. And consequently, this has not been done. So, the political observation we are making here, and despite of all this, is that the broad-based government that Kenya Kwanza, not Kenya Kwanza, that William Ruto birthed as a solution to pacify the Gen Z and address the concerns of the Gen Z is not getting the global approval and traction. In fact, someone was just telling me that you cannot go and sell it. Ruto has been trying to sell it to the friends of the country, his friends about things happening in the country, because they've really been concerned about, is the country stable? And this is the question that even investors are asking the president. Is your country stable that we can come and invest? Is your country stable? That question has been there. And the president has gone to public. He's been appearing in television stations. He's been going to rallies. He's been going everywhere and saying, you know, the country is now safe. We formed a broad-based government, and now we have peace and this and that. And of course, he's always brandished those who were protesting as people that were just charged by a section of maybe the oligarchs. So, this broad-based government, it's supposed to be, you know, it mirrors what's happened in South Africa when ANC merged with DA. Of course, it's a very awkward marriage. Here, there is a difference. If you look at the handshake between Uhuru and Raila, there was no single person from ODM who was picked to go to cabinet. Truth be told, no one. There was no one from ODM party that was picked to go to cabinet. No one. In fact, Uhuru Kenyatta ran his government. So you could see the reason why now this one had to be made with joined. We are going to support you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Now, there is something that I want us to look at. The reason why the broad-based, the broad-based government is not getting the global approval as the maybe framers would have wanted is Ruto dodged the accountability call. I want to say here, there is something the country missed. And both Ruto and Raila, and even if Uhuru was in it, there is something they missed. Yes, it is true that when you have a handshake with Raila, those who support Raila mania would actually technically withdraw from the street. So to that end, you remain with a particular clique of Gen Zs who may not be strong, or rather you've reduced the number of young people in the street. So when you do that, and then you unleash the police will be able to suppress the small group that was in the street. So you might have successfully, I've been seeing people going to rallies and saying, the country was going down and so we salvaged the country. And I've always been asking, what did we salvage? I don't know, because if it is parliament, it was stormed. The parliament was stormed. Part of parliament was burnt, by the way. So I've always been asking, what is this salvage? What is this that Raila team have been moving around saying they saved? Probably, I don't understand. Maybe I'm too young to understand. And so on that end, they were able to suppress the protest. But the Gen Z protest was a very good opportunity to reboot the country. That was the time that William Ruto would have rebooted the country. Saying, these young people have done this, let's go to the constitution, let's change this, let's make this, let's put a law. I'm tired, these people are saying that you guys are corrupt, so we're going to put a law. If you're found stealing, we should have punitive measures. In fact, those are some of the things you should be putting. If you're found involved in corruption, those cases should not take more than 2 months. With all manner of steps, DPP, DCI, ESCC, you should step aside, banned from vying for any office, banned from even doing business, so that people feel the pressure. So the question of accountability, it was not answered. And in fact, even after unleashing the police and some rogue elements violated human rights, the rights of the people, the same accountability, the same lack of accountability was felt. The government remained unaccountable. And so, I believe very well that even the investors that are supposed to invest in the country, they might look through the mirror and ask, okay, fine, the president was told about this, this, and this, because they watch news, they know what these young people are saying. Did he do? No. What does it mean? It is not peace. These people can wake up anytime. That's it. Number two, the acts of Banning parliament. I'm telling you. Let me tell you guys. Hii dhana kwamba bunge kuu, sehemu la bunge kuu, vijana waliweza kuingia pale na wakachoma, imeleta madhara kubwa sana. Manaka vyombo vya habari ambavyo vinatoka katika nchi za madola wanaangalia hiyo ni habari bombe, hiyo ni habari ambayo wacha niseme kwamba bado wanaishikilia, bado wanaifikiria. Na unaona kwamba kama bunge kuu, bunge la taifa limeweza kuchomwa na vijana, basi hii nchi haipo katika hali mzuri. That's it. That's it. The act that people stormed parliament, it created a permanent dent. And Raila Odinga going to government could not salvage it. So what they're asking, and what even the global community is asking, they're ticking the boxes. Je, rais ametimiza matakwa ya hawa vijana? Wanajiuliza hizo maswali. I'm trying some Swahili because I'm in the Swahili zone. Huku ni biriani tu, pilau, biriani kuku, biriani mbuzi, biriani ng'ombe. So, we missed it there. The fact that people stormed parliament, it created a permanent dent. And it cannot be, it showed the world the magnitude of anger that the people have against government. In fact, in established democracies, we will not be having President Ruto as our president. Yes, people would have resigned, I'm telling you. It will not have been very easy. Now, the other thing why that broad-based thing is not getting the global attention and approval is the orthodox means on how we silence streets through the guns and the bullets. I need to say this. What we have is passive peace. We put ourselves in some safe net. But in real sense, even the clergy have been warning the president. Mr. President, you can have all those rallies. You can launch as many projects as you want. You can say anything in the TV station. You can appoint anyone you want in government. But if you are not going to narrow to the real governance issues that is affecting this country, then we'll be back to square one. Not even the body. Let me tell you, Raila supporters who are withdrawn from the street are the ones that will lead the pack to remove the bodies from the cabinet, if we will not be able to listen to the voice of the people. Because not you can lie, but it cannot be permanent. And Kenyan politics changes. So we had an orthodox means, unleash police, unleash even military. In fact, so it was all that. Then after unleashing and silencing it in the town, then you go to the villages and say, you know, wale hata siku hizi hata hawendi kuandamana, wale sasa walikuwa natumwa. Well, in the real sense, you locked them out, and there was all that manner of fear that was planted. And the other thing is, it's very difficult for government to say we are peaceful while we can still see the wrangles between the president and the deputy. The wrangles are still there. MPs are still pulling in different directions. And I also feel this issue of parliament, you know, we don't have an opposition in parliament. We have a very compromised system. As we speak now, we have a very compromised system. We have a very compromised parliament. And it started even with the vetting. The speaker had to be planted there to ensure that if someone asks a very tough questions, you are told to wait. And things have to move very seamless. So, the way we've had our parliament, it's very porous, and the executive can get their way through that parliament as they want. Because there is no gatekeeping, the opposition is there. And lastly, I think we made a big problem we made a diplomatic goof by the Ford Foundation and the foreign envoys. We might have blamed the wrong people. and that might have really costed the country. Even the other day, previously I was discussing about the debt, the credit rating. We goofed at some point. We overreacted, or rather, the executive, as much as they was trying to spin the propaganda, but they spinning it the wrong direction. Thank you. And kindly support Kilifi Mission with anything you have. 50, 100, 10. I'm glad anything umepata. Tutashukuru ili kuhakikisha kwamba by Thursday tumeweza kusaidia hawa mama. Thank you.